welcome to the Erica Glessing Show. I cannot believe this is the very last show of 2018, and tomorrow heralds a new year. It's going to be a quite interesting year. I'm getting there's going to be a lot of shifts and corrections, so I'm very curious about 2019. And today we have a lovely show for you. We have the final program from the Love Is Summit starring Sylvie Olivier, and she's runs Golden Heart Wisdom, and you're just going to love this show today. I'm really grateful that she came on my summit, and so I'm sharing her with you now. So hello and welcome to the Love Is Summit. This is Erica Glessing, your host, and I was just chatting with Sylvie Olivier, who is our beautiful guest today, and I was just letting her know that I got a directive to do this summit. Like, I was shown the summit in my mind's eye. It was given to me as, it wasn't really given to me like a choice. It was like, you know, why don't you go and raise the love vibration on the planet? It was just sort of like, hey, Erica, what you doing? You know, this is God. Can you go and work on the love vibration? And I was like, that's a really interesting focus area. And I'm, infinitely interested in everything. And what could be more fun than helping people get connected to that universal, that sense of love and being loved without doing anything, or without having to get skinnier, without having to get prettier, without having to get younger, without having to lose your wrinkles. Like,
right? True.
Yeah. It was just like, hey, what if you could just, and I'm shutting my phone off, so that's good, so it won't ring while we're talking. And yeah, it was just really from that space of that this got created. So I want to let you guys know that Sylvie helps people with this. Her brand, you can see behind her, is Golden Heart Wisdom. And she did this beautiful, on one of the books she's created, she's an author, she created I just remember there being 4 steps, and I remember like something would come down into your heart, and then it would sort of
percolate. Creation, yes.
And then it would like become a little something, but you still wouldn't share it because it was like morphing into reality, and then you're ready to share it in reality. And I can still remember that diagram of the heart that you created. And that was 2015. So welcome.
Wow, it's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, it's all about what I call pure love, in fact. When you share it, we don't have to do anything to feel the love, to be loved and to be loved and to be lovable. It is who we are. And it's through my own experiences that, I came across my own heart at some point, because I was struggling a lot with so many things in my life, a divorce, and my daughter was really, really sick at some point, and I was in poverty and all of that. And it assisted me to connect deeply with who we are. So instead of trying to be loved from an outside source, I connected from the inside out. And it's so much easier, Erica. We don't have to make effort. It is already who we are, because this is the fabric of pure love that we're made of.
This is just, to me, this is just the essence, this awareness of being loved and being loved. And then instead of, because I don't know about you, but there was some judgment in my childhood. I don't know if you had any of that. Oh, wow. And so the parent units in my house judged me a lot. And so I was to this or to that, or, I think when I was in 6th grade, my dad was so into me losing like 5 pounds. Like, I'd be so much of a better daughter if I could just weigh like 98 instead of 103. I remember these numbers. It was crazy, right? It was like, I remember this love being attached to you fitting into a certain thing, or love being attached to when you're doing this well, or love being, and as I stepped up the vibration in myself, I went, what if you don't need to do or be anything? And that was just such a different energy, right? It was like,
yes.
And I'm just going to encourage people, as you're listening to Sylvie, really, really see if it's a weird listening. I'm going to ask people to kind of not quite work so hard at getting it.
Yeah.
Like, what if you didn't even have to get it? Like, you just, it's your fabric, it's your DNA. Like, it's built into every molecule of the planet.
Yeah. And you just have to receive it from the inside. It's not from the outside. It's already there, in our essence, in who we are. So we don't have to struggle and fight and work hard to get somewhere, to be loved. It is already inside of each one of our cells, as you just mentioned, Erica. And when I connected to this truth, for me, it was so strong, and it created amazing manifestations in my life. And this is at that time that I started to look and say, oh, because at first, it was too good to be true.
Right? Like, yeah, I mean, I can actually hear the listeners going, what
I know.
the F? Like,
yes.
That doesn't work for me, because if I'm not working to achieve a better way, right? Yes. But the all is well energy is something that's so counterintuitive from this.
Yes.
So if I'm in one of those struggle positions where I don't quite have enough food for the kids, or I'm not able to make enough money doing what I love, or, all those things that are lovely entrepreneur listeners. A lot of the people who are listening are healers themselves. Yes. So they're like, well, wait a minute, it really isn't well. What? So yes. What do you do if you're in that space of wondering like that? How can I shift it?
Well, if I go back many years ago when I was struggling, I just got divorced. And my husband, he went with my sister-in-law, and she was my best friend at that time as well. And I ended up in an apartment with my two daughters. And at some point, I had $30 for 3 weeks for the food for the three of us. So I remember how helpless I felt. And I was going to the hospital because my younger daughter was very, very sick. And everything was bad in the day. During the day, I got a parking ticket because I rushed to the hospital, and, she was transfused. So it was, so hard. But in the meantime, I refused to go to bed before I became aware of only one thing, one small thing that connected me to my heart. And sometimes it was a smile from a stranger. Another time it was a stranger who opened up the door for me. It was very small things. But when I remembered that small thing during the day, it was I was connecting to my heart. And even though sometimes I didn't really feel it, it didn't matter, because I knew that it was like a gem that I was putting in my heart and saying thank you. So I was grateful, right. And it assisted me to feel a little bit more plenitude each day, even though it wasn't that big. But at first, it was these first small steps. And
so taking small steps, beginning to tune into gratitude and love. I'm so excited. 2019, the book Love Likes It When You Dance will be coming out. It's going to be a beautiful book. And then there's another group book coming out on love in 2019. So it's going to be an interesting year. I think we're going to learn a lot this year collectively as a culture. I want to thank you for being part of the Erica Glessing Show audience. I'm very, very grateful for you. I'm joyful when I hear from you too, so feel free to shout out happypublishing@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to tune in tomorrow when my very first guest of 2019 is Jennifer Lampkins, and she just made a really interesting card deck. So we're going to have fun talking to Jennifer tomorrow, and have a very wonderful